Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius. Today is the 17th of August, 2023. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff, basically. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner in there and I'll be back in a bit. And I'm back. Right, now then, guys, before we jump into the charts, as always, let's quickly have a read-through. We already had a read-through our risk disclaimer. Just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. Feel free to check us out here. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Yep, pretty straightforward, to be honest. Right, let's jump into the charts. Nikkei 225, the first one I'm going to pick up here. And of course, Japanese numbers came out today. We saw some not very exciting numbers, I think, for Japan. So yes, exports fell, and they fell a little bit more, and they fell, yes, imports also fell. But in general, basically, the balance of trade moved back into negative territory a little bit, not much, but maybe for something for the Japanese government and the central bank to kind of start worrying a little bit. If you remember yesterday, I talked about this idea where I said that, look, at 145 USDJPY, I mean, this is from like where maybe the BOJ could start jumping in, like taking action, intervening. I think that, yes, for now, like I said, I think that they're going to wait a little bit more. If it starts getting out of hand, but I'll get to USDJPY in a bit. Then they will probably intervene. Now, looking at Nikkei 225, this, of course, did not really sparkle well with the Nikkei, and yes, we saw a drift lower yesterday, but I think that this drift lower was mainly driven by the slide in the U.S. equities and the FOMC meeting minutes. They didn't really say anything new, but just kind of confirmed what we already knew. But anyway, still, the market decided to act negatively on that one. And yes, we saw a slide. Nikkei also drifted lower. The futures, I mean, I'm talking about. And today we're seeing a bit of a hold up here, a bit of a hold up above this 100-day EMA. So in other words, if we're looking for some further declines, then yes, a drop below that 100-day EMA is required. If we get that drop, then yes, my next target is the 200-day EMA. For the upside, as I said before, yes, my ideal scenario is from a break of this downside line, but maybe, although I'm not a huge fan of this anymore, but maybe we could see some higher levels if we do push back above the 50-day EMA right here. So let's keep an eye on that one. China 50, so yes, still flirting with this upside line, which is drawn from the low the 1st of July. So look, in general, I would say it's okay. I mean, on one hand, because we're still kind of trying to hold on here, it's okay for the bulls, let's put it this way. But the fact that it's not giving us any clearance, any clarity here, that's where my problem lies, and this is where my issue is. And look, in general, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside. However, whenever we get something like this, I have to accept the fact that maybe actually I should ignore this upside line, and maybe I should actually consider something else. Let's say maybe we should keep an eye on the possibility for an upside. But for me, the upside in the near term, let's say up to this downside line, could come on a push above this territory right here. this zone. Let me just double check this. Yeah, so roughly around here, this 12,727 zone. And if we do climb above it, then yes, I will get a little bit more excited with the upside right here, and then we'll take it from there. If we if we let's say stick around somewhere here, then yes, don't get me wrong, there is still potential for this one to drift lower. But again, I need some sort of like clarity here. At the moment, I'm not really getting anything. And look, I talked about this 12,475 territory previously, but I think I will also have to mark this level, this 12,556, because so far, yes, we had a break below it, but it was a false breakout. So maybe for that extra confirmation for the downside, the drop below this hurdle could be nice. Maybe then, you know, we could consider some lower levels after that. But at this point, it's just kind of moving up and down here, so that's why I'm not really liking it too much. ASX 200. So yes, there we go. There we go. My mission accomplished here. So I talked about this, and I said to you that if we do drop below this highlighted zone, my next target is the area near this, these two levels, the 7,039, 7,042, and there we go. We got a test of this area, almost. Again, okay, like I said, it's never the exact level. It's always the area near that level. So, and I will take that as a success. Great, wonderful, and there we go. So, and for example, when you're asking, like, I mean, you're asking how you can play this one out. For example, you know, if your take profit is somewhere around here, well, if you have a set level, for example, and you think that this is the level or the area, you know, that could be reached, always put your take profit a little bit higher, because again, because of these scenarios. No, don't be greedy. Yes, it could go lower. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it could go even further, you know, further south, but what you can do is, for example, if you really strongly believe that it's going to go further south, then you can, you know, take your profit somewhere here, then reevaluate the situation. Maybe you'll get a retracement like we did here, and then maybe, you know, you could jump in again. But at this point, look, I mean, my target has already been reached. Although I'm still leaning towards this territory, I would actually prefer to wait maybe to see what's going to happen further. At this point, I'm just going to observe the price action, and I'm not really going to do much here. So long story short, I am in a way still kind of somewhat bearish, but I think that for me at this point, I would need to see a push below the 7,040 zone in order to go further south, because further south I have the 7,000 mark, the psychological one, and then the 6,951 level marked by the lowest point of July. Dow Jones Industrial Average. So yesterday we saw a decline. Yep, that's all fine. Everything is in line with the technical analysis rules. I talked about this. Can't remember, yesterday or was it on Monday? That this week, given that there is not a lot of like big economic data releases, it's very technical. I mean, and certain ideas are working, certain things are working nicely, and I can see it clearly here on the charts. So this is what I kept on saying. So look, I mean, I said too that if we do drop below this 35,077 territory right here, I will lean a little bit more towards the downside, but only up until this 50-day EMA or this highlighted zone. And there we go. We are getting a nice hold up here. Also, this in a way, the lower side of this potential falling channel idea is working out. So yep, everything's looking quite attractive, I would say, for the bears still. However, I get it. Maybe, you know, the bulls are interested to jump in somewhere from around here. If this territory continues to hold, then yes, maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible. Maybe something like this could be possible, but I would say yes. Do not exclude further declines, guys. Do not exclude that, especially if we do drop and stay below that 34,800 zone, somewhere around here. Yep. Then I will go further south. Oh, Daredevil Dave, you beat me to it. Honestly, good morning, everyone. Everyone. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Yes, so yeah, Daredevil Dave, thank you very much for reminding. So yeah, good morning everyone who is joining in right now. So I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful start of Thursday. Look, that's the situation with Dow. Yes, there is potential for maybe some reversal. However, for the reversal, I would like to see maybe a push back above the 50-day EMA right here, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. But again, even then, we do have this obstacle now, which could act as a good area of resistance, not just support, but resistance now. And then, yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. If we clear the upper side of the falling channel, great. Okay, we could go higher, but let's not rush into anything. Let's go slowly on this. S&P 500. So this one is so far so good. Again, also doing a good job. Drifting nicely to the downside. Look, I talked about this as well. I said to you that as long as we stay below this upside line, I will continue targeting the downside. My next target is the 4,411 tick. And if that gets cleared, my next target is the 100-day EMA. Not tick yet, but hopefully. So yeah, let's see how this is going to play out. To be honest, I don't have much to add here. It's the same analysis. Since the same analysis is valid, so just, yeah, I need to kind of wait for a clearance here. But in terms of the upside, look, what I really want to do, I want to get rid of this, actually, no longer needed, I think, and redraw some lines. I think this is what I like right now. And yes, I think that I'm not going to overcomplicate my life here. I'm just going to keep it as this. So yes, I mean, if we want to go higher, if we want to go more to the upside, then maybe a break of this short-term tentative upside support line could be nice, which is drawn from the high of the 1st of August. Maybe that could be a game plan here, yes, because at the same time we could break above the 50-day EMA and potentially this could attract more buyers. However, I get it, I do have this 4,517 level now. So yes, maybe that could be a little bit in the way. So maybe something like this here. So yeah, look, at the moment I would say this way, that if you want to go higher, then yes, at least wait for a break of this downside line drawn from the high of the 1st of August. NASDAQ 100 very quickly on this. So yes, we drifted lower. Again, the same analysis is valid. I talked about this yesterday. I said to you that if we do drop and stay below that 15,022 territory or the psychological 15,000 mark, then yes, I'll go further south. My next target is the 14,853 or 54, roughly around here, or maybe even this 100-day EMA. The German index, DAX, there we go. So continues to slide. And yes, everything's in line, to be honest. Everything's working out good according to the technical analysis rules. I talked about this. So what do I have to add? Well, to be honest, not much on this one. I don't have much to add because I'm just aiming lower. As long as we stay below the 15,878 territory, I'm aiming to the downside. Yesterday, you can see that we came close to testing that area. It provided good resistance, and then we drifted lower. So now, I mean, I'm still aiming to the downside. So yeah, my next targets are the 15,635 and the 15,559 levels, or roughly I would say the 1,600 level. Let me just, I think, mark this one here, which is very close. So that's 15,600 roughly. That's my target. But again, don't get me wrong. I mean, I will consider some levels here around it. FTSE 100. So yes, nice drift lower here. Waiting for some news for tomorrow. Tomorrow we get the UK retail sales numbers. So for now we are in decline mode here. So not much to say. Yes, we are drifting lower. So as long as we remain below this 7,390 territory, I'm aiming for this upside line drawn from the low of the 20th of March. To be honest, the FTSE is not the most exciting one right now. If we want to consider some higher levels, well, a pushback above the 7,390 territory might do the trick here for a few more buyers. And then, yes, we could go a little bit more to the upside. However, let's not rush into anything for now. Let's keep an eye on this hurdle. And yes, if we do push back somehow above it, then maybe a bit of a retracement back up could be possible. So, guys, just also something I wanted to mention. Look, U.S. dollar, yes, U.S. dollar, and exactly what I wanted to say is that today we have some data from the U.S. coming out. So we do have the initial and continuous jobless claims, but also at the same time we have the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, which is expected to improve slightly. But look, from the technical perspective here on the US dollar index is that I talked about this and I said to you that if we do pop and stay above this 103.3 zone, then maybe, more upside here could be possible. But I get it. We have seen this one running in positive territory for quite a while. Maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. Yes, I think that everybody's kind of hoping for that, I think. But look, at this point, it's difficult for me to say, to talk about any retracement, because as long as we stay above this territory right here, then yes, I will continue aiming higher. For the downside, I need to see a break, at least initially a break of this upside line. Drawn from the low of the 18th of July, and don't get me wrong, it's a little bit on the tentative side, but also I need to see a break, a break of this upside line, and maybe additionally a drop below this 102.65 territory right here could do nice here for a few more sellers here. So yeah, and then we could target that 100-day EMA together with the 50-day EMA. So, gold, the metal that doesn't really like the stronger dollar right now. As you can see here, look, I talked about this idea yesterday. I said to you, look, wait for it, because maybe this is forming a nice falling wedge pattern where, we could rebound from this highlighted zone and we could push higher, but a break of that upper side was needed, and this is exactly what I keep on saying. Don't rush into anything. It was very, very attractive to go long here. Everything was kind of made. I think all the stars, or almost all the stars, were aligning apart from one, the breakout through the upper side of the falling wedge. That didn't happen. There we go. That's the result you're getting. Boom, we had a decline. A sharp decline here. So now the question is, what's next? Well, next is I need to get rid of this lower side of the falling wedge because it's no longer a falling wedge. Now I'm just going to stick to a downside line, which could still be something nice here. And for now, I would say if you're looking for some lower levels, then yes, I will consider some lower levels if we do fall below that 1893 territory. But at the moment, look, we're still balancing above it. There is hope. This level, by the way, is the lowest point of June. So we're trying to make our way, to the downside here. This is not the lowest point of this year. The lowest point of this year is somewhere around here near the 1806 zone. Still, let's say, I would say a far way to go, but possible later on. But again, I think that maybe a bit of a retracement here at some point will be possible. So maybe push towards the 200-day EMA or even the 50 or the 100-day EMAs would be a possibility here. But again, let's not rush into anything for now. Long story short, I would say that if you're looking for some higher levels, at least wait for a break of this downside line, and then we could aim for that 200-day EMA. For the downside, a nice drop below the 1893 territory might do the trick here. If we stay below it, then yes, my next target will be somewhere around here. Or maybe even actually, let me just double check something. There we go. Something around here, maybe this 1872 territory. So initially, the little obstacle on the way lower could be this 1885, 86, but then I'm aiming for the 1872 level. Probably a little bit more. Silver is there we go. So we're yesterday I've mentioned this level. I said to you that if we do drop and stay below it, then yes, I'll go lower, and I did go lower, but okay, this didn't really work out, I have to admit. Unfortunately, this didn't really work out. So okay, back to the drawing board. And I think what I need to do here is I want to remove everything and start fresh. Basically, I want to mark some key support and resistance levels. This is what we are currently seeing here. Look, maybe we'll end up in a range, maybe not, maybe in something else. Maybe it's going to be a descending triangle pattern at the end of the day. Who knows? We just have to wait. We just have to wait, and at the moment, I would say we just have to see what's going to happen with this little hurdle, this 22.11. That this is still my target. If that gets cleared, then yes, of course, I'll go lower. But don't get me wrong. At the moment, I am kind of like considering maybe a bit of a rebound from this territory. But hey, let's not rush into things. So, long story short, for now, maybe an idea, this could be a possible idea here where we could see a drift lower, test of this territory, and then rebound and a push towards the 200-day EMA. And if we do climb above it, then yes, of course, I will consider maybe like a larger correction here to the upside, but again, for that, we need to see a push above all of the EMAs here on my daily chart. That's for silver. Palladium, something that I probably don't look at very often, and you don't look at very often, but just wanted to say that hey, whenever I see an instrument which is, let's say, at an interesting spot, I try to pick up on it, look, Palladium is also an interesting metal, and unlike yesterday I talked about nickel and zinc. Unlike those, Palladium has a little bit more volatility, I think. And it's kind of, look, it's also in an interesting spot because this commodity, this metal, look, the main usage of it is in like catalyst converters in cars and in dental practice as well. I think somewhere else, can't remember where. Jewelry, yes. I mean, so this metal is used in there. And look, these kind of three industries that I just mentioned, in a way, are, if demand is falling, if everything is a little bit more on the expensive side, when people start saving money, they kind of start cutting on, on cars and jewelry, and sometimes even on dental, because yes, they look at their hearts, their liver, their other organs, but somehow teeth are pushed away a little bit. So, we can see the loss in demand for that metal then, and there is, because people are starting to save money, and people are just kind of, well, this is our nature. We're not very bright mammals on this planet, right? Keep on littering it, but anyway, that's another story. But look, for now, I would say this way. I'm seeing a range. I'm seeing a nice little range here. So that means that maybe, we could see a nice breakout level here, either for the upside here, for example, for the downside around here. So the upside is the 1350. Let's round it up here a little bit. For the downside is 1198, or maybe even 200. Let's maybe round it up to 200. So these two levels, this is what I'm going to be waiting for in order to consider the next short-term directional move. While we remain in here, I'm just neutral. Yes, it's closer to the lower side of the range, so maybe a break through the lower side of it would be great, because again, the prevailing trend was to the downside before entering this range, so maybe a further, and this could be seen as a continuation pattern. So at this point, guys, I would say just... and be careful and be cautious. If you are interested in something like this, then yes, it might present itself with a nice opportunity later on. But if you're a bull, then probably as I mentioned yesterday in my video, that if you're like, let's say, you want to be a bull in this, then you have to accept the fact that, for example, you would have to hold it for a while and maybe even take a hit at some point for some time. So let's say keep on holding it, and ideally with no leverage or maybe minimal leverage, and we can help you with that, of course. So you can just check out Easy Markets for that. But so yeah, that's, like I said, that's the situation here on Palladium. It is nice, it is interesting, but I think it'll get even more interesting once we start exiting the range through one of the sides of it. Oil. I mean, fantastic. Look, I mean, I talked about this yesterday. Yesterday, we were holding above this 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci, and there we go. Boom. We cleared that, and I said to you then after that that if we do drift below this, my next target is the 79.93, or should I say the psychological 80 level, tick. Then it's my next target is the 79 level, tick. And then if we can continue sliding further, my next target is the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, which is roughly around just slightly above that 78 mark. Not tick yet. I hope so, but I hope that it's going to end up reaching it. So for now, it's very, very technical, very, very nice. I'm very, 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 very happy. So for me, let's say to consider the upside scenario, maybe a push back above the 23.6 could be nice, but even then, I will be a little bit more on the safe side. So yes, and then we'll just, I'll aim for this territory first, and then we'll take it from there. Bitcoin. So yes, of course, another BTC USD, that another one that doesn't like a stronger dollar, and there we go. We can see why. Yes, we are declining. We declined, and yes, we've pushed away from that 29,500 zone, the one that I kept on talking about. And yes, the next target is the 100-day EMA, which we reached. Then I said to you that my next target after that is the 28,440 tick. And now what's next? Well, next is this upside line, which I still have on my chart. And this one is drawn from the low of the 30th of December of 2022. So quite a longish upside line, I would say. And at the moment, I think the main target is there. But what I want to say as well, that look, don't really count on the fact that exactly it's going to hit this upside line, and no, maybe it's going to drift again lower, test this 28,440 zone, maybe bounce around somewhere here, and then reverse back to the upside. So so that's why at this point I think that given that we already saw today this decline, now I'm keeping an eye on the 100-day EMA. If we do stay below it, yes, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside, but I'm going to be very careful and cautious with this upside line. Maybe we're not going to end up reaching it. So let's see. But if we start clearing this upside line, well, guess what? There could be some more bears joining in, and we could see a drift towards that 200-day EMA. So yeah, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. For the upside, now this is where the tricky bit comes in. Now I do still like that 29,500 level, although it got violated a few times here. Yes, I get it. I accept that fact. But I think that maybe to keep an eye on this downside line could be an option. Maybe, just maybe. I'm not sure yet with the upside, so don't really. I'm not really comfortable yet with the upside. I'm just kind of examining lower levels for now. But once we start seeing a reversal, maybe closer to this downside line, maybe then I will get more excited with that. Bitcoin Cash, also a nice drift lower yesterday. Boom, fantastic. Reached my target. The target was the 100-day EMA. I said to you that if we do drop and stay below this 217, 250, 220 area, then yes, my next target is the 100-day EMA. Look at this perfect hit. Okay, beautiful rebound. What's next? Well, next is if we do get again a drop below the 100-day EMA, then yes, potentially more sellers could join in, and we could aim for that 200-day EMA right here. So that's kind of the game plan for this crypto. To be honest, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, again, my upside scenario. Now, look, given that we moved away a little bit further south here, my upside scenario, yes, I do like that 250 zone, but maybe a break of this downside line could be nice, so maybe this could be an opportunity here. Let's wait and see, of course. Maybe a break of this downside line could open the door to some higher levels, because at the same time, we could see a push above the 50-day EMA. So yeah, let's, like I said, for now, I'm leaning towards the downside, but I need to see a drop below the 100-day EMA. For the upside, I need to see a break of this downside line. Litecoin. This one's looking a little bit more bearish, and you can see why. So look, I talked about this. I said to you that if we do break and stay below this upside line, then yes, I'm leaning towards the downside. 71.40 is my next target. Yes, so far, so good. For now, yes, I'm still aiming for that 71.40, and then I'll take it from there. Dogecoin, beautiful test, beautiful result. I mean, I've mentioned this. I said that my next target is the 0.0664. Beautiful touch. So what's next? Well, now I need to reevaluate things. Maybe this, but to be honest, I'm not going to rush into this. And maybe actually we could see something like this. That's a good option here. But as long as we stay above the 0.0664, maybe then, yeah, we could see a bit of a retracement here back to the upside towards that 0.0718. So for now, that's my game plan here. Yep. I don't know if I'm gonna consider anything else yet at this point. With the upside, I need some sort of like clarity here at the moment. We're just a little bit far. Maybe a push back above all of the EMAs could do the trick here for a few more buyers, but hey, let's not rush into this. Now let's jump into a few pairs. AUD, USD, guys, looking good for the bears, right? I mean, I talked about this before, and I said to you, look, another thing that kind of worked out here is something around this. So this idea worked out. So this so-called neckline here, yes, did do the job. A while ago, I talked about this idea maybe of seeing a double top here, something like that. And but I said that for that, we need to see a clearance of this territory. And there we go. We drifted lower. We moved to the downside, and we made a good move already. So we found, let me just grab a line. We found some support near the 0.6364, 65 zone, approximately around here. Now, my question is, will we go further south? To be honest, I'm not gonna rush into anything. For me, the upside scenario, I would ideally... Okay, this is, well, this is very difficult to talk about ideally when we have something like this. Then maybe in the lines of this, something here could be nice. Again, I don't know yet. It's very, 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 very tricky with the upside. Look, in general, I'm going to slow down with the downside, because if I just go from this perspective, let me just get rid of this. If I go from this perspective that we have cleared the neckline of the possible double top pattern here, then we already made a move. We made a good drift to the downside. We did around what, like 80% of this move, of this width of the heads of this double top. So that's everything's in line with the with the technical analysis rules, because it's never like the 100. So for example, thinking that okay, we should do the same distance here, and from on the break of the neckline we should go the same story here. No, it doesn't happen this way. Let me just let me just mark this. So I think that this way, I think it will be better. And so basically some people think that, hey, maybe, we should have like more downside here because we need to do the same distance here, on a break of the neckline. Not always. No, it really varies, because it's sometimes, yes, it could be between like 70% of that distance and the 100%. So just keep that in mind. So right now we did, we did a good move here. So I think we did around like 80% of this move. So, I think that's enough. And if it's going to go lower, then yes, okay, that's absolutely fine. But do not exclude that, like I said, a possibility maybe to see a bit more, a bit more upside. So if we do break this downside line here, then yes, I'll start slowly aiming higher. But at the moment, I'm being very, very cautious. NZDJPY. So this one I looked at a while ago, and look, it's not really the most exciting one, right? Overall, yes, it's drifting higher because it's kind of, this is what it's doing. But at the same time, maybe, somebody's like, who likes to trade this, they're trying to find some sort of logic here. And look, I will say, keep it short term. And one thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark this. And another thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark this. So long story short, if you are looking for some like a breakout here, then yes. I mean, look, if you're waiting, let me calm down. Let me rephrase everything. So at the moment, we're oscillating around the EMAs, the 50 and the 100-day EMA. Okay, that's fine. Maybe not fine for somebody who wants to see a trend here, but okay, that's absolutely fine. So while we remain inside this triangle, I would say let's leave this pair. Let's leave it, keep an eye on it, and wait for the better days. And the better days could come on a break of this downside line or on a break of this upside line. Then yes, we could consider the next short-term directional move. So basically something like this. So if we do break one of the sides here, then for the upside, my next target will be around here, this 88.60 zone. For the downside, my next target will be this 84.94 level right here, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. CHFJPY, just wanted to give you a quick update. Look, if you remember a while, like last week, I talked about this potential idea of a breakout. So far, so good. I mean, everything's working out nicely. So yes, we broke above that 164 territory. Now we're moving towards that 100. We already surpassed the 166. So yes, I talked about this. I said to you that what I'm going to do, I'm going to aim for those like 165, 166, 67, 68. So at the moment, yes, it is pushing higher. And look, the yen is a little bit on the weaker side. But yeah, so for now, I don't see a reversal, but hey. For now at this point here, let's wait for that. If you're looking for a reversal, wait for it, guys. Oh, and by the way, if you're thinking why the hell this one is not really doing these moves to the upside, basically NZD is on the weak side right now. It is very, very weak. So that's why it's like a battle of the two weaker ones, so that's why we're seeing this kind of coiling up moment here on NZDJPY. USDJPY, this is another story. Look at this stronger dollar, boom, fantastic move to the upside. Look, I talked about this yesterday and then this morning as well. I picked up on the BOJ intervention, possible intervention. So if you are looking for some lower levels, then wait for at least a drop back below the 145 territory, somewhere around here. Maybe even 144.80, 85, something like that. But if you're looking for some higher levels, then I would say we already did some higher levels, and it's already difficult. I don't like to chase the market, and if I missed it, okay, I missed it. That's fine. But now let's say we're resting near the 146. Look, the Bank of Japan, I said yesterday that they might allow it to run a little bit more if the balance of trade remains in positive territory, because they maybe but given that the balance of trade this morning came out negative again, maybe that will reiterate things, and maybe they will say, you know what, screw this, let's jump in, let's bring the yen back to the downside, or should I say not the downside, but make the yen stronger. Let's go buy some yen, this way making it stronger a little bit. And that's because at the moment while the balance of trade is positive, that means that yes, okay, exports are higher than imports, and that's why it's better for the country. But if balance of trade suddenly drops, and then it becomes that people are importing, people are kind of buying a lot of imports with a weaker yen, that might cause some inflation pressures. So just and then eventually maybe a drop in the economy. People will initially inflation pressures will see higher inflation, but then people will start saving more money. And then there's going to be less money in the economy, and then we will have a problem. So yes, at this point, I think that maybe they will actually decide to intervene sooner, just because of the data that came out today. But again, maybe I don't know something. So if you do know something more about this, then drop me a comment either during live session or after the video is finished. USDCAD, so just a quick update. So yes, I talked about this yesterday. This barrier, the 1.35, we broke it nicely. 1.3550, we tested. I said to you that my next target is the 1.36, and then so on and so on. But yes, so far, so far so good. Look, long story short, I would say this way that as long as we stay above this 1.35 zone, I will continue targeting the upside. If we do fall back below this 1.35, I will consider a bit of a retracement here lower. USDCHF. So USDCHF is an interesting one here as well. So for now, yes, we came very close to this downside line. So, but to be honest, it's the same story. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stop picking up on this one for now, because I'm keep on talking about the same thing. So just yeah, I'm watching this level basically for this month. This 0.8757 territory. So, but yeah, for now I'm watching that level because I'm curious where it's gonna end at the end of the month. And I think that for the rest of the month, it could just move sideways around this level. GBPUSD, so yes, climbing slightly to the upside, so that's fine, but I think, yes, it's waiting for tomorrow. Maybe then we'll do the move and do something, you know, here. But in general, if we look at the MACD, occasionally I do look at those, and if we do look at the MACD, then this one is pointing a little bit more to the upside. So, yes, let's see if that's going to be the case. Look, my logic with the upside was that this is not a descending triangle. This is more of a, just a triangle. And if it's just a triangle, then we look at the prevailing trend. The prevailing trend was to the upside. Then whenever we form a triangle, then there is a bit greater chance that we could break higher. So because it's like seeing a continuation pattern. But look, we do not exclude the downside scenario as well. But again, either way, both scenarios, a breakout is still needed. Another thing that supports the upside scenario is the fact that we're getting back closer to the 50-day EMA. So basically, the last kind of EMA here on the upside, and then if we clear it, then this could open the door towards some higher levels. And also, the upside scenario is supported by this MACD, showing showing the potentially going into positive momentum here, you know, so area, but again, not sure yet, not sure, because how many times we've seen, you know, this coming closer to zero here, and then, like, for example, here came again closer to zero, everything was shifting more towards the upside, and boom, we get a decline. And, you know, that's why I'm not rushing into anything for now. I'm just observing the price action. But if we start clearing this territory, this downside line, and this 1.2782, then, yep, I'll get a little bit more excited with the upside. GBPNZD, this one is a rocket ship. I mean, I talked about in GBPNZD before, and this one is like, it can be one-way traffic. And sometimes I really don't like GBPNZD. Well, obviously, when I get it wrong, you know, then I don't like it. Then I think that the whole world is against me, you know. So, but in general, look, I talked about this idea yesterday. Yesterday, I have this level here, this 2.1393. I had it here. I said to you that if we do pop above it, that was the high of that day yesterday. At the moment when I was talking about it, and we cleared it and we pushed further north. So we reached my 2.15 level. Slightly above that, we do have the 2.16. Look, I am not gonna rush into anything yet. So far, okay, it's drifting higher, but I think that now I need to keep an eye maybe on this little hurdle, this 2.1355. If we do start correcting back below it, maybe I'll consider a larger correction to the downside. Not from here, but maybe already from here. EURGBP. So we broke the upside line. I talked about this yesterday. I said to you that if we stay above this, then yes, I will get a little bit more comfortable with the upside if we do push above the 50-day EMA. But we were balancing just on bang on this upside line yesterday during my morning video. And yes, I said to you that I'm not excluding the downside scenario where my next target is the 0.8544. Boom, fantastic, good result here. So what's next? Well, pretty straightforward. If we do drop below this hurdle, then yes, my next target is the 0.8504 area, and then we'll take it from there. For now, this is what I'm going to stick to. Yeah, I'm not really going to do much. If we do climb back above the subside line and we push back above the 50-day EMA, then yes, more buyers could join in. And finally, EURUSD. This one's drifting nicely to the downside. So far, so good. I talked about this and I said to you that as long as we stay below the 100-day EMA, my next target is the 1.0833 or this 200-day EMA. So for now, that's my game plan. I'm not really going to do much here, anything else. I mean, look, we do have some data coming out tomorrow from the Eurozone. Today is the US time, yes, with the Philly Fed and the initial and continuous jobless claims. Tomorrow we have the UK, as I said, retail sales numbers, but from Europe we'll get the inflation number. That's going to be something interesting to watch. So, of course, it will be an interesting reaction, or could be an interesting reaction in the euro dollar, maybe even a further move south. So let's not exclude that scenario. But again, for now, like I said, I'm still targeting the downside as long as we stay below the 100-day EMA. If we somehow push back above it, maybe a bit of a retracement here can be possible. However, my ideal bullish scenario here is on a break of this downside line drawn from the high of the 18th of July. And then, yes, we could go a little bit higher. So that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much, everybody. Like I said, yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for killing almost an hour with me. Thank you very much, guys, for that. I really appreciate it. So I hope you found it useful, and I really hope you'll stay safe, have your stop loss in place. You will risk what you can afford to lose. And you will not overtrade. That's the most important, guys. Stick to that, and everything will be fine. So, Daredevil Dave, thank you very much, and thank you everybody else who has tuned in. Join me tomorrow in the morning, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a beautiful trading day. Bye bye. Uh-oh, you just broke a digital image cursing us all to 7 years of market volatility. Undo by subscribing to our channel.